Chapter 31. Slipping out of my open window now is easy, much easier than my first attempt. I carefully leave through the window, closing it behind me just as the bells finish striking 9 hours. Suddenly, the wind changes direction and increases. I hesitate in front of my house, trying to decide whether I should walk or use my bicycle. As it's night-time and thus difficult to see far, I decide to walk. I also get the feeling that it will rain before long. I'm grateful for my light jacket, though I'm unsure what exactly caused me to bring my school bag. I know the way to the Grey Lobster, though I've never been inside. Underage drinking, while not illegal, is still looked down upon, especially by families such as mine. Now, at 16 years of age, I doubt many would look twice, especially since I'm at least as tall as most grown men. Anyway, it's the music I'm interested in, not the drink. I walk through Central Square. As I pass the fountain where I sat 3 days ago, a light sprinkle, little more than a misty rain, begins to fall. On approaching the tavern, I notice a few interesting details. For one, there's a giant sculpture of a lobster on the awning over the front entrance. That lobster is in fact grey. The sign on the building says Grey Lobster, but it's obvious someone has written the grey over what had once been red. At this point, I am walking through the entrance, where I'm promptly stopped by a large, muscled man.
Entrance fee is 10 pesetas. You get 1 drink token. After that, drinks are an extra 10 pesetas each. Cost of food depends on what's available.
Luckily, I've brought some money I had saved up. I hand over a copper 10 peseta coin and accept the wooden drink token. I don't plan on using it, but I also don't want to stick out from the crowd. Just as I'm wondering how the tavern could survive on so cheap an entrance fee, I receive my answer. A quick glance around shows me that many patrons have at least 2 empty mugs in front of them. Some of them have as many as 3 or 4, with no signs of slowing down. My survey of the room also confirms the comments I've heard on the Grey Lobster's clientele. While mostly men, there are a few women spread here and there. None of them sit together, and none could be considered proper ladies by my family's high standards. I choose a chair at an empty table in the far back corner of the main room, hanging my bag over the back of the chair and looping an arm through the strap to make sure it stays there. Like everyone else, I sit facing the stage where a woman stands playing a small stringed instrument. I can't help marveling at the grace with which she plays, but I also hope I haven't missed this violo the men spoke of. Since my knowledge of music is confined to the chapel, I have never seen such an instrument. The woman holds it by its small, rounded body, holding down strings on its long neck with her left fingers. In her left hand she holds a long stick that seems to hold many tight strings together. She slides this over the other 4 strings of the instrument to make the music. The calm look on her face while playing with eyes closed matches the tune she plays, serene and mellow. As soon as I notice all of this, she stops. Suddenly, she starts stomping her right boot on the stage, which seems to prompt the crowd to clap along with her beat. I clap along to fit in. Without warning, she starts in with a fast-paced whir of playing over the strings. I notice at times that she plays 2 strings at once, which mixes an eerie sound into the otherwise upbeat melody. This song seems to be the opposite of her first song. That was slow, almost inviting the crowd to sleep, while this is heart-pumping, calling the crowd to gather and make merry. Others must feel the same, because in addition to the crowd stomping and clapping, one man even gets up on the stage to dance, swinging his legs this way and that. He may be slightly intoxicated, but it's difficult for me to tell, as I have no experience with such things. At one point I think for sure he will trip himself right off the stage, but his steps remain true. As the song winds down, I notice 2 others, a man and a woman, holding instruments off to the side of the stage.
They must be next, which means her turn is over. Please, Father, don't let me have missed Violo.
As the woman exits the left side of the stage after taking a bow, the waiting duo enters up the steps on the right side. Each holds an instrument, both so different from the woman's. The man's is long, black and skinny. It has silver-coloured metalwork down most of its length, most of which forms little holes. The woman's is similar, but smaller and silver. When everyone is quiet, they start to play. I notice the man puts one end to his mouth to blow into, while the other end is pointed at the floor. The woman holds hers up to her mouth, but it is pointing sideways towards the man. They play 3 songs together, mostly the same, with slight variations. I like how the deeper sounds of the man's instrument blends with the higher sounds of the woman's. Following them is a group of 3 men. They have no instruments, unless their voices count as instruments. Each has a different sounding voice, one high, one medium, one low. The low voice seems to set the mood, or the speed of the songs, while the other 2 voices blend together. I find myself marveling at each new way music can be expressed. I also grow more anxious as each group mounts the stage, fearing Violo has come and gone before I arrived. While these groups are nice to hear, I have been drawn here tonight by my curiosity of the man who could cause an uproar over one simple song. During their singing, a woman comes up to my table with a beaming smile.
"What will you have, sir?"
I freeze for a moment. I had assumed if one wanted a drink, they would order it somewhere. I attempt to remain calm.
What do you have, ma'am?
We have chilled red wine, hard cider, or dark lager. First drink is covered by your token. Supper tonight is fish stew with a chunk of bread or paella. Each is 20.
Although I'm sorely tempted by the prospect of paella, I'm not particularly hungry, nor do I have many pesetas to spend. I also don't want to draw attention to myself by taking a long time to decide.
I'll just have the hard cider.
I drop the wooden token into her waiting hand. She flashes me another winning smile and is off to other tables. When I turn back to the stage, the 3 men are bowing to applause. As they leave the stage, a shorter man climbs the steps. His age is more difficult to determine, clean-shaven as he is. Even so, I would be surprised if he was beyond his 20s. In his hand he holds a small 4-stringed instrument, but unlike the first woman, he has no stick-like thing in the other hand. As soon as he takes his place in the center of the stage, the crowd gives a thunderous applause, roaring their voices in encouragement. This seems odd, as the others didn't receive applause until after their performances. I feel a small stirring of hope that this might be Violo. He holds up his instrument and plucks the strings one at a time. He frowns at the sound of the last one, then quickly turns its peg at the end, strikes the string again, and smiles. He strikes each string again in turn before he continues in a slow tune I can only describe as hopeful yet adventurous. The serving woman returns with a mug and places it before me on the table.
Let me know if you need a refill or change your mind about the food.
Thanks, ma'am.
I take the mug in my hands and smell the cider. It smells of overripe apples left too long on the trees at harvest time.
It can't taste as bad as it smells.
I take a small sip, but it's enough to scorch the back of my throat. I take another, thinking it will get better, but it doesn't. I gently set the mug back down on the table.
How can anyone enjoy this?
To distract myself from my burning throat, I turn back to the performer on stage, only now realizing that he is singing. After he finishes, I notice the atmosphere in the room has changed markedly. Some shift uncomfortably in their chairs, but many stand in eager expectation. The performer mirrors their anxiety, looking from face to face. As a response to the tension, I pull my mug to me and once more try the cider. This time, it doesn't burn nearly as much, and I am thirsty, so I take a larger gulp. Without the burning taking up all of my focus, I notice a sweeter taste of apple, with hints of spice underneath. Before I know it, I've drained the mug and begin to feel a warmth spreading throughout my body. From the tips of my toes to my fingernails, all the way to the top of my head. Suddenly a man across the room yells out, "Come hither!" And the crowd roars in approval. The performer glances at an extremely tall man on the other side of the room. This man gives the performer a nod, and the performer nods back with a resigned look on his face.
That must be Tall Tom, the owner, which means this really is Violo.
Violo's face changes from resignation to a reluctant smile as he starts strumming the strings of his instrument, a purposeful tune neither overly fast nor slow. The crowd starts thumping, feet on the floor, fists on tables, matching the beat.
She sits there day and night, stretches till she's out of sight, rounded like an emerald glass, draws you with her eyes.
And the crowd joins Violo on the refrain.
Come hither, boy, she'll make you mad. Come hither, boy, she'll make you legend.
They continue the song with the same pattern. Violo sings the verses alone, and the crowd, including myself, joins him on the refrain.
The boys and men come running, adventures and tales all around, enraptured by her endless chorus. We know they say she'll always adore us. Come here, boys, she'll make you men. Come here, men, she'll make you legends. The sea she gives, but mostly takes. Back at your skill she breaks. Come here, boy, she'll make you mad. She'll make you legends.
After this last refrain, those who aren't standing join those who were, and all give a raucous applause, yelling and cheering their appreciation of the rousing song Violo has led them in. I join the crowd in standing and applauding. At least half a minute later, the applause begins to die down. I pick up my bag and survey the room one last time, deciding the moment is right to slip out. It's obvious Violo is done with his set. I have no idea what time it is, but it seems I've stayed longer than I planned. As the energy from the last song wears off, I am getting increasingly worried that I'll be caught tonight, on my birthday of all nights. Still, I'm extremely pleased with myself for following through on this daring plan. I only hope that anyone who might have recognized me won't say anything to my family. As soon as I walk out the front door, I can smell smoke in the air. I look to the southwest quarter, and my heart starts pumping faster. There is a low haze of smoke in the air there, reflecting orange from what is definitely a fire.